Welcome! This is the second monthly professional standards training for this school year. The topic covered today is offer versus serve for the school breakfast program. We will go over the offer versus serve guidelines for breakfast and what makes a reimbursable meal for breakfast. Here you can see an example of a lovely, complete reimbursable breakfast. Managers, please remember that you may pause this video at any moment for questions or comments. What is offer versus serve? Well, offer versus serve is a method that, one, allows students to select foods they intend to eat and decline other food components or food items they do not intend to eat. It also reduces food waste and its impact on school food cost. By allowing the students to select exactly what they want to eat, we are reducing food waste, which allows us to also reduce food cost. That is why we stress offering a variety of fruits and following the district menu, which offers the students many options to choose from. You can see in the picture the students here selecting from several fruit options and cereal options. Under offer versus serve, students may decline any food component except the fruit or juice. For example, if a student does not want milk for breakfast, that's fine because milk is not required. However, a fruit or a juice is required. Students must select enough food for a nutritious meal. When students say they do not want the required amount of items or required fruit or juice component, cashiers should explain to the student that their meal is not yet a complete nutritious meal. Unless they select the required items, the register will charge them. Only a complete breakfast is free. Remember, pre-plating is never allowed. This takes away the student's ability to choose, which goes against regulations of offer versus serve. Students are allowed to select the full serving, which is 1 cup of fruits, if they so desire. We offer fruit in half-cup portion sizes, so as a result, students are allowed to take 2 fruit items if they wish. Examples of a full cup serving are a fruit and a juice, or a fruit and a fruit cup, or a fruit cup and a juice. However, students are never allowed to select 2 juices. Reimbursable breakfast requirements. 4 food items must be offered from 3 components. Those 3 components are grains or the bread, which are one and the same. The meat alternate may be offered in addition to the grain or bread, and those items are offered in 1-ounce portions. The fruit component, which is offered in half-cup portions, and the milk component, which is offered in the 8-ounce portion, which is our Borden milk cartons that we receive. As you know, the grain component is bread items, and they are coded as a B in our POS system. For breakfast, a meat alternate may be used in addition to the grain component, as previously stated. As mentioned on a previous slide, the full fruit serving is 1 cup, and we offer fruit in half-cup portions. Students are only required to take a half-cup portion of fruit, but they may take a 1-cup portion of fruit if they want. Meals selected by students with less than the 3 required items or without a half-cup serving of fruit or juice are not reimbursable. Again, this is when you need to explain to the student that an incomplete breakfast meal is not considered to be a nutritious or healthy meal and therefore cannot be free of charge. Students must select at least 3 food items, and at least one of those items must be a half-cup serving of fruit or juice. Milk, grains, or bread, and meat alternates are not a required item at breakfast. The only required item for breakfast is a fruit or a juice. For breakfast, students may choose 2 fruits and a cereal, to make a nutritious and complete reimbursable meal. Breakfast meal components. This chart is an example of the meal components offered for breakfast. As you can see, under the meat component column, we have pictured the pork links, scrambled eggs, and yogurt. Other items that fall under the meat component include the Canadian turkey ham and eggs, the breakfast chicken patty, and breakfast sandwiches. Under the bread component column, we have pictured the toast, cereal, and mini pancakes. Other items that also fall under the bread/grain component include mini French toast, biscuits, bagels, croissants, oatmeal, grits, mini loaves, etc. Milk is the only food item that falls under the dairy component column. Under the fruit component column, we have the applesauce cup, a banana, and a juice carton. Recipes with multiple food components. As we have listed here, the parfait equals a meat and a fruit component. The recipe numbers for the breakfast parfait are 2213 and 2212. Granola and grips are not part of this recipe. They must be rung up separately because they count as a grain component. The lunch parfait, which is recipe number 2207, consists of 3 components: the meat, the grain, and the fruit. It is important to ensure the correct recipe for the breakfast parfait is placed on the overlay. The breakfast smoothie is the same situation. It consists of a meat and a fruit component. And the number for the breakfast smoothie is 2240. When smoothies are offered for lunch, they only count as a fruit component. So again, it's important to ensure the correct recipe for breakfast smoothie is placed on the overlay. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of reviewing recipes for multiple reasons, such as recipes change, staff must know proper portion sizes, cashiers need to know components and which combinations make a reimbursable meal. Also, not to mention, recipes need to be printed for items that use the SR or C recipe code on production and menu records. Okay, now that we have reviewed the requirements for offer versus serve during breakfast and what a reimbursable breakfast must contain, let's go over what you have learned with a quick quiz. Now, review the tray, take a minute to look at it, and decide if this is a reimbursable breakfast or not. Next slide. Nope, this is not a reimbursable breakfast because there is no fruit or juice selected for this tray. Okay, next slide. All right, is this a reimbursable breakfast? Take a minute, study the tray, remember what we went over. Okay, next slide. Yes, this is a reimbursable breakfast because it consists of 3 items from 3 components. We have the combination item, which is the smoothie, consists of a meat and a fruit, and then a cereal. So you have 3 items: meat, fruit, and bread. Next slide. Is this a reimbursable breakfast? Take a minute to study the tray. Next slide. Yes, this is a reimbursable breakfast. There are 3 items selected. We have milk, we have applesauce, and we have banana. 2 items from 1 component, but altogether we have 3 items selected. Remember, only 3 items, not components, are required for breakfast, and 1 must be a fruit or a juice. Please note that at lunch, this would not apply. At lunch, when 2 out of the 3 items are fruit or vegetable, another item is required. Okay, one more tray. Is this a complete reimbursable breakfast meal? Take a minute to study the tray. Yes, this is a reimbursable breakfast. There are 4 items selected from 3 different components. This is another example of a multiple component item and how it counts as 2 different components. Point of sale requirements. Cashiers must count components correctly and be able to recognize a reimbursable meal. Cashiers must also know the component values of all breakfast food items. In order for cashiers to be able to count components correctly, the menu and recipes must be reviewed daily with staff prior to meal service. As mentioned on a previous slide, cashiers have to be aware of multiple component items, for example, the breakfast smoothies and parfaits. Each tray must have a half-cup serving of fruit or juice physically on the tray. Cashiers must not ghost items or add items to the tray that are not physically on the tray. Cashier should explain to the student that their meal is not yet a complete, nutritious meal, and they need the additional components. When ghost items are added to a tray, the district is claiming meals that we are not entitled to claim as they are not considered reimbursable. This will cause the district to fail the administrative review audit. The updated and Justice for All poster must be visible. You can see from the picture it was updated and is now green. It is no longer the red, white, and blue poster. Keep in mind that this must be visible wherever meals are served. For example, in the classroom, spill-out areas, in outside carts, etc. The updated offer versus serve poster must also be visible. This poster has also been updated for this school year, and the new poster must be visible at the POS and throughout the cafeteria. This chart lists the combinations for maximum number of portions per component that make a reimbursable breakfast meal. This chart and the following chart, which lists the minimum number of portions per components, may be used as a tool for managers to train staff on reimbursable breakfast meals. These charts were provided as attachments to the email notification for this training, and managers may print them to use in the future. This concludes the Professional Standards training on offer versus serve for the school breakfast program. Thank you.